How was it going, NPC Nation? Welcome back to a brand new video. This video is going to be called Was the War of 1812 a waste of time? So look at the facts. Look at the summary of the War of 1812. How did it start? The British were capturing American soldiers, American sailors, and the Americans were trying to go farther west and north and wanted some of Canada. The British were like, no. The American government's like, give us back our soldiers. British were like, no. Okay, we declare war. The war lasted like 2 years and 8 months, almost 3 years. Technically 3 years, but by the time it started and by the time it ended, it was only 2 years and 2 years and 8 months. It was 1812 to 1815. Oh, you're thinking to yourself, oh, NPC, that's 3 years. No, it's not. It was 2 years and 8 months. If you search it up, the War of 1812. It was only years after the United States gained its independence from the British. It was the first war the United States participated in as a country. It was the first war that we went to with a former, our former, kingdom of Great Britain. The former ruler of our land, Great Britain. But it's such a dumb war. First of all, Great Britain, how to avoid the War of 1812? It was a waste of time because 15,000 Americans died, 8,600 British and Canadians died. So it's like, because they were combined at the time, so they counted one death toll. And the only good thing that came out of it was Andrew Jackson and the Battle of Orleans. At the end, in 1815, at the end, they surrendered. No one surrendered. Like, basically, they drew up more boundary lines. They're like, okay, here's your captured soldiers. And here is, here's some land you can have, but that's it. And this is now the border. It was a waste of time and a waste of deaths. A lot of people died. Not like a ton, but a ton of people died. 15,000 plus 8,000 more died because of the War of 1812. Just a waste of time. It was just a waste of time, in my opinion, because the only good thing that came out of it was that Andrew Jackson got famous and he ran for president and lost because of the House of Representatives, and then years later ran for president, lost, House of Representatives screwed him, and then 4 years later he won. So why did it even happen? It only happened because people were captured. British were like, no. I think it mostly happened because the British were still butthurt that a small, tiny people, tiny colonies in North America that they owned, the British government owned, won independence years before. It's such a weird war to go back to war with Britain, like years after. Like, we weren't even that old of a country. We got our independence late 1700s, so it was early 1800s when that war happened. We were only on our 4th president of the United States at the time. So, yeah. Because Thomas Jefferson won a second term. And then George Washington won a second term, that's why. But we were only on our 4th president. So, and he was elected in 1808. So, 4 years later, during his re-election, he was, re-elected, and then the war started, basically. So it's like, what's the point? What's the point of that war? It was just one of the biggest waste of times. If you do a summary, like if you ever have to do a report on the War of 1812, you can just watch this video. Basically, it starts, you have some battles, Britain's winning some battles, America's winning some battles, but there's no leeway. Nobody's getting advantage of anybody. Britain's going to win sea battles, but because the American Navy's very young at this point. And British Navy's been around forever. But the American Navy is better. American Army is better on land, so you're going to have land battles. Well, guess what? Who's going to win that? Americans. You have great generals in America, like President Andrew Jackson. It's just, to me, the War of 1812 should have never happened. It should be a war that literally should have been like the Cold War. It should have just been discussions and treaties were made. And then we would never have to discuss it. It would never have been considered a war. Like the Cold War, you never really discuss. It's not really a war. It's an era. It's an era of tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union. In the early 30s and late 50s, late 40s, basically, after World War II. But that's pretty much it about the War of 1812. It's such a, in my opinion, to this day, I think it was, like, I do respect the people that gave their lives. I do respect the people that lost their lives. But they would never have the casualties of the War of 1812 would have been zero. Because it would never been a war. It would have been the tensions between the United States and Britain and England and the British Empire. But we had to go to war over soldiers because the British was like, no. The British were like, no, we're not going to release them. Okay, we're going to keep taking your land. Basically, that's how it is. Land. You want to take our soldiers? We take your land. Okay, we'll go to war now. And Congress and the Senate approved it. So weird to see them approving anything. Being together and approving stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, press the share button, press the like button, press the red shiny subscribe button, press the button so you're notified every time I upload a video. I'll see you guys next video. Remember, I'm going to start trying to do some history videos. I'm going to do some regular videos. I'm going to do some more research on history. I'm going to continue to do videos I like. But I'll see you guys next video. Goodbye.